Hello and welcome. This is Whole and Beautiful. I am Angela Oliphant, your host, and I am so glad that you all have joined me for a night of information, revelation, and change. Guys, tonight is Friday. I want you to like, I want you to comment, I want you to share this broadcast with someone else. Let them know that Whole and Beautiful is on tonight. Let them know that I am here to share some information with you on this evening. I want to go over just a few things before I go into what I want to talk to you all about tonight. I want to let you all know that I am open for you coming on the show. If you would like to be a guest, send me an email at wholebeautiful@gmail.com. That is wholebeautiful@gmail.com, and I will be happy to set something up with you for you to be a guest on the show. And the guests that I have on the show are different people from different walks of life. We're talking about their journeys. I'm going to have a guest that's coming on soon that we're going to be talking about finances. And I look at that as being her journey because that's her business. She works in accounting and she does taxes and she does everything dealing with numbers. So she will be here in a few weeks, and I'm looking forward to her talking to her. And then also, I have different people from just different walks of life. And I want to be able to talk to them and share their journeys with you to let you know that you're not alone, to let you know that every person's journey is unique and that we can be whole and we can be beautiful on our way to going to our destination. We don't have to wait until we get there. Whole and beautiful is our journey. And I want you to see that through the different guests that I have on. I want you to see that through the different things that I talk to you about when I am on the show. So make sure that you do like this show. Make sure that you share it. Make sure that you leave comments because I like to go back and see the comments. I like to see the comments coming up on the screen to know that you're out there, to know that you're listening, and to know that what is being said on this show is helping you in some way, shape, or form. I do have a segment of my show that I call couples conversations. So if you know a couple that's been married a long time or a couple that just got married and they want to share their story, and we don't have to look at it as a story as in, they had this traumatic thing happen and then the turnaround and then all the different ins and out. It can just be their unique story. I don't think any story is boring. I don't think any story is just a story that doesn't need to be said or mentioned. I believe that everyone has a story and everyone needs to be able to share that story. So I want you to be able to share your story right here on Whole and Beautiful. So make sure that you send me an email, wholebeautiful@gmail.com, and I will be happy to get in contact with you. I also have a part of my show that I call mentoring moments. And in that, I like to speak to men who are mentoring other young men or mentoring in their communities or their churches or wherever they may be, that they are bringing somebody else up. Because a lot of times we are not pouring into the ones that are underneath us, pouring to the ones that are coming behind us. And I want them to be able to share their story with you. I want them to be able to share their story with you. I want to get a man's perspective on some different topics that we may have and see what they have to say and see what wisdom that they can share with us that will help us grow, that will help us push forward, that will help us be who we have been called to be. So if you know a man out there that you said, man, he would be perfect, that person would be perfect to come in and share their story, to share their journey so that others can see that they can do it too, or others can be mentored by that particular person, then send me their information or have them give send me an email. Good evening, Francina. It's so good that you are here. Thank you for chiming in. You're always there, and I thank you for being a part of my whole and beautiful nation. Everybody, I want you to share really and let these men know I do a mentoring part of my show where it's men mentoring other men or mentoring other young people or however that they do it. I just want to get a man's perspective on some things because sometimes we always look at it from one side and we can always look at it from another side. So, guys, With that being said, that's just part of what Whole and Beautiful is. It's information, it's revelation and change. That's what I want for you. I want you to hear the information, and I wanted to bring about a revelation. Good evening, Victoria. How are you? And I wanted to bring about a change. I want you to see that the information that you have received on this show, that it will bring forth revelation to you when you go back and you look at it and you begin to study through it and you begin to listen to it, that it will, a light bulb will go on, something will click that will cause you to begin to change, and then you will walk out that change. So, if you know anybody that would like to be a guest on the show, let me know. wholebeautiful@gmail.com, and I will be happy to get with them and get them on the show. I know that everybody has an individual and unique journey, and I want you to be able to share yours with the world. Okay, guys, tonight I want to talk to you about advice. What is the best advice that you have gotten throughout your life? What was something that was spoken to you that you said, that that stuck with you for a long time? My piece of advice that I have been given a long time ago, and I remembered it, it's been really like over 30 years ago that I got this advice, and it was that you don't compare yourself against another person. You compare yourself against your destiny. So it's, you are basically comparing yourself against yourself and not comparing myself with somebody else and where they at and what they're doing. Because so many times that's what I would do, is compare myself against somebody else. Why? It's just the way my mind was set up. I did it throughout high school. I did it throughout like even elementary school. I will always compare myself to somebody else and always thought of myself as being less than they were. I thought that they were better. I thought that they had better. I thought that they would be the best. And I was like kind of average. And that's the way I would look at myself. And I was always comparing myself with somebody else until I heard that advice. That advice was to compare yourself against your destiny and not against another person. And I started looking at myself and where I was and saying, is this where I want to be? Is this what I want to be doing with my life? And I compare myself against myself to see if I am where I needed to be. I stopped comparing myself against somebody else because their life is not my life. What they're doing is not maybe what I was doing. So I needed to look at myself and say, Angela, are you where you want you to be? The goals that you set, have you accomplished them? The goals that you have set for yourself in different areas, have you reached those goals? Are you on your way to reaching that goal? Are you on your way to doing this thing? Stop comparing yourself against somebody else because their pace may be different from your pace. What you may accomplish today, they may not accomplish to 2, 3, 4 years behind you, and vice versa. So you need to make sure that you are looking at yourself and saying, okay, this is the goal that I set for myself, or these are the things that I know that I need to be doing for me. So since this is what I know I need to be doing for me, where am I on that scale? Am I where I need to be? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do in order to reach that goal? And you want to be able to compare yourself. Hi, Pastor Kevin. Oh, Armand Hargrove. Okay. Thank you for joining us tonight. But I wanted to let you know that you don't compare yourself against somebody else. I can't compare myself against this other person and what they're doing and then measure myself up against them. I measure myself against the word of God. I measure myself against myself and where I'm going. Am I measuring up to where I need to be as far as my walk and as far as where I'm going? Am I taking the time to do what I need to do for me in order to accomplish the goals that I know that I need to accomplish, in order to reach that finish line that I know that I can reach, but it's the finish line for me? Because my finish line may be different from your finish line. When you may see yourself as finished, I may see myself as halfway through. So we need to go back and look at ourselves. And I see that in society so much. It is all around us where people compare themselves against somebody else. And then they look at themselves as less than, or they may even look at themselves as being better than. No, look at yourself, assess where you are, assess who you are. And are you on the path of where you need to be, and what you need to be doing and how you need to get there? Are you on the correct path? Are you going in the direction where you need to go? It's like this. If I want to become a personal trainer, am I working my way to becoming that personal trainer, or am I going in the opposite direction of it? Because if I keep saying this is what I want to do in my life, but then I keep going in the opposite direction of it, then I never get to it. So we want to make sure that we are walking in the way that we need to walk. A few things that I wanted to share with you tonight. I was just looking at different advice that different people were given, and some of the things that different people have said. But one thing is like, they were saying how life is a series of negotiations. It's not just life is just this, like that straight line. In life, we're going to have ups, we're going to have downs, we're going to have ins, outs. You're going to have different things that you're going to face, different things that you're going to go through. And you sometimes, if you're walking that walk with somebody, if you are married, if you have friends, if you are part of a family, really, you're going to have to negotiate sometimes. Sometimes things, you have to look at stuff and say, okay, you know what? We need to work this situation out. We need to work this problem out. We need to sit down. We need to talk about some things. And a negotiation is not like, oh, they're trying to get over on me. Or they're trying to make me, do what they want me to do. No, we negotiate. We talk about things. We talk them out. We see what is important. Yes, know your self-worth. That you can achieve anything you set your heart and your mind to. And that's one thing that I do tell my children all the time. I tell them, you can do whatever you choose to do. And I even told them, like with school and stuff, I told them it doesn't matter. And some people may agree, some people may disagree, but that's okay. I was like, it doesn't matter what school you go to. When they were talking about going to college and different things, I said, if you go, you go. If you choose not to, that is up to you. But if you choose to go, it doesn't matter whether you go to Harvard or whether you go to a community college right here in town. It matters what you do with your education when you get there. If you're slack and you're at a school like Harvard and you're slack and you're not doing the work, then you're not going to graduate, and you're not going to be the thing that you're trying to do. You're not going to be able to accomplish that. But if you put in the work and you're there and you put the work in, you're going to get the results. So it doesn't matter. I would tell them it didn't matter, whether you went over here or over there. It matters what you do when you get there. And you have to know that this is what I want to do and I'm going after it. But back to negotiations, we all have to negotiate throughout the course of life, even really throughout the course of a day. We make so many decisions throughout the course of our day that we don't even realize sometimes that we're making decisions like, you're trying to figure out what you're going to wear. You're trying to, do I go this route or do I go another route? Do I do this? Do I do that? Uh, if you get calls during the day at your job, you're making decisions throughout the course of the day. You're setting appointments and doing different things, and you're having to constantly make decisions. And a lot of times we have to begin to negotiate things throughout the course of the day. And one piece of advice that was given, and I'm reading it off of here because I want to make sure I got this right. It was to first figure out what you want or what you value the most when you are negotiating with someone concerning something. You want to see, what is it that you value the most in this? Because some things you can be like, you know what, this ain't even, worth the time of going through all of this with this person over. This is something that, I can just let go and move on to the next thing. It's like, where are your values at? What are you most valuing? What do you want in this situation? It's like like the saying we give out to people a lot of times is choose your battles. Choose what you're going to fight over. Some things are not worth fighting for you. That's like, you know what? That's not a fight that I even want to be a part of. That is not something that I'm willing to go toe to toe with you because I want this to go this way. Some things we're like, okay, I can negotiate with that. I can say I can compromise with that, and I can work with you with that. Not so much compromise, but saying, okay, yes, I agree with you on this. We can do this, and it'll work out this way because this is not a big thing, a value that I'm willing to like die over in order to get my point across. Um, because it says that so often we fight to prevent an outcome we fear rather than work toward our true desires. It's like you already see the outcome and you are fearing what that outcome is going to be. So now you're fighting against all this other stuff, not even knowing that they may not even be the outcome. It may be something totally different. So you choose your battles. You choose what you're going to walk into. And that may be some advice that somebody has had. Choose your battles. With second, they said try to give the other side as much of what they want as you possibly can, because negotiation is not competition, it's collaboration. We are working together in order to come to a favorable outcome for the both of us, or for the both parties. Whether it's two people, whether it's a group of people, we want to work things out where it's going to be favorable for all of us, where none of us are really like losing. We're collaborating and coming up with something awesome. And sometimes you have to collaborate with other people. You're not out there, and I say this all the time. We're not islands. We're not out here by ourselves. We all need each other in some capacity. So I want to make sure that I'm working with you. I want to make sure that I'm not competing with you. Because when I begin to compete with you, then I'm not looking out for your well-being. I'm trying to make sure that I come out on top all the time. And if I'm doing that, then I'm not looking out for you. I'm only looking out for myself. And I don't want that type of attitude in myself. And I don't want that type of attitude with my children. I want to be able to work with, to be able to collaborate, to be able to build. And sometimes we look at ourselves and we say, you know what? That is not worth the fight. It's not worth the fight. I want to collaborate with you. I want to, okay, where can we come out with a favorable outcome for the both of us? Um, One thing that I have looked at also is with children growing up, like in today's times. I know that today's times is so different from when I grew up and so different from when my mom grew up and the different things that we're in. But something that really spoke to me even this week was that we may have different tools that we can utilize, but the recipe stays the same. And when they said that, that spoke a lot to me because sometimes we try to change up the recipe. You know, your mom had that recipe for that pound cake or that macaroni and cheese, or whatever favorite dish it is. That coconut pie, I love coconut pie, and I got my mom's recipe and I stick to it, because I want the taste of what she cooked. So I use the recipe to the T of the way she does it. And but we have different tools now than what my grandmother had. When my grandmother made the coconut um pie, she had a whole different tool to use. I watched my grandmother when I was little. She would beat up cakes like with her hand, and how she did it to this day I could not tell you, but I watched her do it, and different things that she did, and I was like, how she's doing all this? But she did all her stuff, and it was by hand, and it was by her own recipe that was in her head. It wasn't on a piece of paper. But in order to get the same results that my grandmother got, that my mom got, I was like, okay, I need my mom to write this down. And she was like, I don't even know. But she started writing down stuff, and what she wrote down, it tastes like hers. So I said, I'm gonna stick with it. But I may use a different tool. I may have a better mixer that she had, or I may have other things, but you know what? Those ingredients, that recipe is going to stay the same. Why? Because that's the type of result that I want. Because I want the good pie. I don't want to make a bad pie. And but I want to have that good one. And I hope y'all understanding what I'm saying. The recipe, even with our kids, the recipe sometimes the recipe needs to stay the same. We have different tools and stuff that we can use with our children to help them grow and to help them to move forward in life. But that same basic recipe of the way that we grew up, the same basicness of what we needed as children, the same basic human needs that everybody have, those kids need it today. They need that same foundation. They need that same word spoken into their lives. They need that same love. They need that same, stability. They need that in their lives. And sometimes we try to change the recipe up. We want to change the recipe up and do something a little bit different and change it all up. But I say there's the same basic needs that we had when we were growing up, and the same basic needs of a human being is what they need. And if those things are provided and those things are given to them, I believe that they will do what they need to do in life. If you present like God to them through the principles of the word of God, and not what your perception, not your perception of things, your the way you want to teach the principles, you want to teach the principles of the word of God, not your opinion about what it is, not what I think, but what it says. What does the word say? What is this thing, that can be a strong foundation? Because a lot of times we're not teaching principles to them. We're just teaching, what I want, not the principles of a thing. To build a sure foundation in somebody, you're telling them, this is it's your opinion. It's not so much like these are solid foundation things. It's just my opinion. And you don't want to teach your opinion to someone and try to drill your opinion and your thoughts into them. You want to give them basic principles. You want to give them principles that they can build on, that when they begin to build on it, that they're built on a sure foundation. Don't just give out your own opinion of things, and this the way I see it, and this the way, I believe that it should be done. And if you're going to do that, let them know that this is my opinion. This is the way I think. And they have the option to choose whether they think that way or not. But you want to let them know, because sometimes we go off of what other people have said for so long. And then when we find out that it's not truth, or we find out that, hey, this doesn't work, and you find out later this was their opinion. Because I have heard people give me, scriptures, what they said were scriptures. And I was like, okay. And I'm trying to add that up. And yes, the approach changes, right? Because we're in different times. The approach may change, but that same basic thing is going to be the same. They still need our love. But sometimes we get so caught up in what we want and what we want to do in our own opinion, and we're not teaching them just the basics. It's like the basics is what they need to learn. Because when you start school, everybody get those basics. They get the ABCs, the 1 + 1 = 2. You have to learn those things in order to be able to build. And sometimes we want to start people up here, and we haven't even given them the basics yet. So we want to make sure that we are working towards not so much changing a recipe. Can we make it better? Sometimes you can add something to a recipe and it makes it a little bit better. And sometimes you can add something to it and it causes it to flop. So we want to make sure that if we are adding to, we are enhancing it. Just like in the word, it tells us to add to our faith. First, you got to have the faith. then you can add to. So first we need to make sure they're on that sure foundation, that you got that foundational thing right there. You got the foundation of how to get it done. Then we can start adding and we can start building. Um, Making time for you is not selfish. Y'all hear me say that all the time. It's not selfish, it is self-care. So, and that was one piece of advice that somebody had gotten. They were like, okay, making time for me is not being selfish. Just because I take some time out for myself, just because I take that walk that I need, just because I take that vacation time where it's just me and I spend that time with me, or I may go with some friends and we all go and spend some time with each other, or we go for out for the weekend and we visit wherever, the beach or wherever we go. We can go and we can take care of ourselves. We need to. I have seen so many people who will not and have not taken care of themselves. And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of somebody else, because you wear yourself down so much to the point you are not able to take care of that other person. So we need to begin to take care of ourselves. We need to take that time out when you need that time to rest, when you need that time to just, what I say, woosah a moment, and get that moment to yourself. Do that, because as you're taking care of somebody, taking care of yourself, you're able to take care of somebody else. Y'all have heard me say this before. I tell my kids this every day when because I send them out a message every day. I tell them to encourage themselves and then go encourage somebody else, to love themselves and then go out and love somebody else, and to be kind to themselves and then go be kind to somebody else. Because if you can do it for you, you'll do it for somebody else. So make sure that you are taking care of you so that you have that strength that you need to reach out and take care of somebody else. It's just that simple. And it's not being selfish, it is called self care. So that was one piece of advice that someone gave, was not thinking that self care is being selfish, because it's not. And don't get too comfortable. That is another great piece of advice, not to get too comfortable with where you are. Get to the point where you are challenging yourself to grow. You see yourself growing, and you get to a place. Sometimes we get to a place of this of satisfaction and we just chill out there. We're like, hey, I'm good. Uh-uh. Continue to challenge yourself. I am forever learning, and I love it, because at a heart, at my core, I'm a teacher. I love to teach. Do I teach, school or anything? Nope. But I have found out that's my place. I love to teach. Do I teach at different things? Yes, I go and I teach at church. Sometimes do Bible studies and stuff sometimes, and it is awesome to me. I love information. I can sit and I love to gather it, and I love to give it out to other people. And when they start to walk in it, oh my goodness, it's a high for me to see them get this information, and then they apply it to their lives, and they say, you know what, I listened to what you said, or I heard you teach on this and it helped me, and this is what I'm doing now. That brings joy to my heart. And at my core, yes, I'm that teacher, and that's why I share the things that I want to share. That's why my show is information, revelation, and change. Yes, because I want to get that information to you that's going to bring about a revelation and cause you to change. So don't get comfortable where you are. Don't get comfortable in that place. Comfortable meaning you get into the place where you get lax and you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to hang out here. Forever. Keep growing. Enjoy it. Enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going, but don't stay there. We are forever growing. We are forever changing. So continue to grow, continue to push forward. See if this thing challenges me. Start challenging yourself to grow. Start challenging yourself, saying, you know what? I reached this point. okay, now what's my next point? What is the next thing I want to do for myself? Because I am forever growing. I read just a brief little story about a group of women who are part of the Senior Olympics, and they play basketball, y'all, and they are from 65 to like 76 years old, and they are playing basketball against other teams, and they are winning. But they're having a great time. Do they get to be with each other all the time? No. They live in different states, and one of them even lives in Canada. But they come together, and when they come together, they have so much fun. And they go to these Senior Olympics, and they win every single time. They have been winning games, and they love playing together. They love being around each other, and they have not said, "Oh, you know what? I'm 65. My life is over." No, they are out here playing basketball in the Senior Olympics. There is so much that you can be doing. There is so much that is out here. As long as you have breath in your body, you can continue to challenge yourself to do something else, to do something more, to enhance where you are, to continue to push forward and go forward in the area where you are. You may love the area that you're working in. Challenge yourself to learn more in that area. Challenge yourself to push forward more in that area that you've been in for years. You may have worked in that position maybe like 30 years, and you're like, okay, what else is there? There is something else to learn. There's somebody else that's coming behind you that you can begin to pour information into and watch them grow in what you were growing in. Good evening, Bernice. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining in. I want y'all to challenge yourself, challenge where you are, and say, you know what? I want to grow some more. By the end of this year, I want to see something change. By a month, 2 months from now, I want to see something change in me. I want to challenge myself in this particular area. If it's challenging myself with exercise, if it's challenging myself with reading more, if it's challenging myself to learn more in the job that I am in so that I can become better at what I do, then do that. Whatever it is. Hey, Josie, thank you for coming in. And whatever it is, challenge yourself to grow. Don't stay where you are. Don't become stagnant. Stagnant waters breed disease, y'all. We don't want to breed no kind of disease. We want to keep those waters flowing. So make sure that you get out there, do something, challenge yourself, and even challenge yourself to do something maybe that you haven't done before, that you have always wanted to do. Go try it at least one time, to at least say, hey, I did it. I did it. And then maybe I didn't like it too much, so I ain't going to do that no more. I have something in my mind. Yes, set some goals moving forward. Thank you, Francina. I have some things set in my mind that I want to accomplish, and I am going to do them. I have not really spoken them out to a lot of people. I haven't said anything because you know what? I'm gonna do like Nike, y'all. I'm just gonna do it. Next thing they know, I'm like, girl, what are you doing? You're doing what? Yes, ma'am, because it's a goal for me. I'm not trying to make you get on my bandwagon with me and go there with me. I'm challenging myself to love myself and to do some things that I have wanted to do for a long time. And I kept saying, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. No, I'm going to go do it. And then after I do it, I'll be like, hey, y'all, I did it. And this is what I did. I am excited about me. How about you? Are you excited about you? Are you excited about what God is going to do in you and through you this year? Are you excited about what he's going to do through you, even throughout this entire weekend? This weekend, he's going to do marvelous things in our lives, and we can embrace it, and we can love it, and we can move forward with it, right? Amen. Yes. We want to make sure that we know this too, that you control the way other people perceive you. You can control that. They may have their perceptions, but you know what? Sometimes the way that we present ourselves is the way that people perceive us to be. And then we present ourselves sometimes in the wrong way. And then we're wondering, why are they looking at me like that? And why are they saying this about me? It's because of the way, it's what you're giving off. You're drawing it to you. So you want to make sure that you have right thoughts concerning you. You want to make sure that you love you. You want to make sure that you are being the best you possible in every situation. I'm not saying try to change yourself into something that you're not, but I am saying embracing who you are and loving who you are and where you are right now in your life. Sometimes we say, you know what, I'll be better later. We think when we lose 20 pounds and we're gonna love ourselves more, or when our hair is longer, or when we can dress a certain way, or when we can. No, honey, you can do what you need to do with yourself right now where you are, and you can embrace who you are. You can work with what you have right now and be the best you possible. Why? Because you are unique. There is nobody else that's like you. And when you begin to see who you really are and you begin to embrace you and really love you, you will be amazed at how things will change with other people that are around you. And then you be like, well, why are they talking to me now? They never talked to me before, because you're presenting yourself in a different way. Sometimes people perception is just that that's their perception, and they're choosing to look at you in a certain light. Okay, I get that. But sometimes we give off a certain air about ourselves because we are not liking who we are. We think that we're less than when we walk into a room. And then you wonder why, well, nobody, they think that I'm less than it. That's your thought. What are you thinking about you? What are you saying about you? How are you embracing you? You got to have a positive mindset. Yes, Francina, thank you. You have to have a positive mindset. And I know a lot of people say, you know what? They don't think that it works, but it works. When you start thinking about yourself differently and you begin to think more positive about yourself and you begin to own who you are and love who you are, you will be amazed at the people around you, the way that they begin to change. Why? Simply because you change. But you know something? Even then, their perception and what they think don't even bother you. Why? Because you love you. And you are so confident in who you are and whose you are, and you know who you are. You are not concerned about what other people say or think. And you begin to embrace you. It's not a point of being arrogant about it. It's a point of knowing this is who I am. And I love me. I love every part of who I am. Is there things about me that I want to change? Yes, I'm working on those. But where I am right now and who I am right now, I love her or I love him. And I'm going to continue to move forward and be who I am on the way to where I want to be in some areas. In some areas, I'm like, okay, I'm good in that area. I can grow some more. I can challenge myself to continue to grow, but I must love who I am. And you will be amazed how people start changing around you, because simply because you love you, simply because you have decided that, you know what, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am unique, and I am important to the, you know what, I'm important to this meeting, I'm important to this situation, I'm important to the world. Why? Because I am still here. I have purpose. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I'm still alive. There's a reason why I'm pressing forward every day. There's a reason why I get up in the morning and find out what my assignment is and go forward in it and be all I've been called to be. I want to be everything that I have been called to be. So I'm going to walk in it and I'm going to realize, hey, you know what? I control me. I have self control, and I can control me. I can control my thoughts and the way that I think. I can put affirmations before my face that's going to cause me to love me. I am going to begin to speak into my life and speak life to me. So when somebody else comes in my life, I can speak life to them. Yes, self love projects positivity outwardly. When you love who you are, it comes out and it shines like a bright light into somebody else. And it lets them know, you know what? We all need to embrace who we are. I don't think we realize sometimes just how powerful we really are and just how wonderful we really are. We look at other people and we applaud them and we love on them and we say, oh man, you know, she is this, or oh, he is that. And we just give them all these accolades and we clap for them and we yell for them and we scream for them. When was the last time you clapped for yourself? When was the last time I said, girl, you know, you did that right there, and began to clap for yourself and begin to pat yourself on the back and say, girl, that was good. Or man, you know what? Kudos, you did that, bro. You did it. We have to begin to do those things for ourselves. We have to know that we are important. We have to know that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are unique. We are loved. We are awesome. We are great. We are essential to the equation. We are essential. We are essential. And you are. Somebody is looking at you. And somebody is looking at you for their next. They're looking at you. And they're gathering information from you, and you may not even know it. Just know that you're a leader. You are important. You are great. You are wonderful. And there is none like you, and there will not be another like you. Some people may try to imitate you, but they cannot be who you are. Stand strong in who you are. Love who you are, and go forward in your life. Guys, I am getting ready to close out my show, but before I do, I want to tell you this. Like I tell my children every single day, love you, love somebody else. Encourage you, then go encourage somebody else. Be kind to you, and then go be kind to somebody else. Okay, guys, make it a wonderful, awesome, amazing weekend. Have fun this weekend. I know they're talking about this wintry mix that's coming through, even in the midst of the storm. Praise God and have fun and enjoy life. Let the joy of the Lord surround you this weekend, and be the joy in somebody else's life this weekend. Be the joy for them too, as you are being the joy for you. I am Angela the Oliphant, and I am thanking you, my whole and beautiful nation, for joining me on tonight. You can hear this replay again on tomorrow at 4 p.m. if you would like, and you can share that out to someone. Oh, thank you. Have an awesome weekend. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Be safe this weekend. And remember that whole and beautiful is not just your destination, guys. It is most definitely your journey. Until we meet again next Friday at 7 p.m., I'm Angela the Oliphant, and I'm out. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.